Shalom. I want to give all the praise, all the glory, all the honor unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakudash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me the truth. Also, want to acknowledge all the Akyam who are pushing the truth with sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth, and shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. All right, I'm going to make this one short. This is the Spirit has me in Sirach chapter 12, aka Ecclesiasticus. I'm going to start at the top. It says, "When thou wilt do good, know to whom thou doest it, so shalt thou be thanked for thy benefits. Do good to the godly man, and thou shalt find a recompense, and if not from him, yet from the Most High." All right, and that's pretty self-explanatory. You do good to a godly man, the Most High can, recompense you. Verse 3, "There can no good come to him that is always occupied in evil, nor to him that giveth no alms." All right, and that's also self-explanatory. No good's going to come to the one who's occupied in evil, in bad times. If you're always doing bad shit, if you're always doing the wrong thing, there's no good that's going to come to you, man. You know, when bad shit happens to bad people, you're usually not surprised, right? And then it says, nor to him that giveth no alms. And alms is money or food that you will be given unto somebody. That's what an alm is. "Give to the godly man, and help not a sinner." So it's good to give to the brotherhood, the godly men, the one who believes in this truth. It's always good to give to him. But you don't want to be helping out these wicked-ass people who don't believe in this truth. Don't feel bad. And not that you can't do it, because it says that you heap coals on their head, But you heap coals of fire on his head, right? But for the most part, you want to be dealing with the brethren, the brotherhood. And it's like that too. I've spoken on this in the past. Somebody in your family asks you for some money or wants something from you, and you're like, oh damn, in your spirit you're like, fuck man, I don't want I don't want to help this person or whatever. And then then the brotherhood, it's like that. You be helping the brotherhood, the brethren, and you're happy to help. I don't know, the spirit the Lord put on us. Proverbs 25:22. Let's see. Okay, here I'll start at 21. "If thine enemy be hungry, give him bread to eat, and if he be thirsty, give him water to drink. For thou shalt heap coals of fire upon his head, and Yahweh shall reward thee." So there's even a reward from Yahweh, even if you do it to your enemy. And really, you be your enemy of your brethren, or of your kindred. Because really, the brethren are not enemies. The men who are in this truth are not our enemies, but the people of our people, maybe like a 2/3 would be a good example. You give the 2/3 something, even though they're the motherfucking 2/3 and shit, but you help them, you kick them a little money on the street corner, they're begging for, money or food on the street corner. You can hook them up. The Lord's going to reward you, This is really not talking about your true enemy, It's talking about the enemy of thy I don't want to say brethren, but I would say of your own people. Ecclesiastes 12:5. "Do well unto him that is lowly, but give not to the ungodly. Hold back thy bread, and give it not unto him, lest he overmaster thee thereby. for else thou shalt receive twice as much evil for all the good thou shalt have done unto him. You see what I mean? Really, if you want to keep it simple, the brethren, the ones who believe, the ones who are in this truth, that's who you want to be, give charity to. And when you actually go into charity, it's really going into teaching this truth. You want to give this truth. It's like you don't want to be giving the pearls to swine, which means you don't want to give this knowledge to somebody who doesn't. It's not going to benefit them. It's not going to profit them because they don't believe it, right? Verse 6. For the Most High hath hated sinners, and will repay vengeance unto the ungodly, and keepeth them against the mighty day of their punishment. All right. So it's not the phrase that you hear the Christians say, he loves the sinner, but he hates the sin. No, he hates sinners. Okay? He hates the ones who transgress the law. And really that's dealing with the 2/3, because the 2/3 are the ones who can sin, technically have the ability to sin, because the laws were never given to the heathen, all right, to the other nations. Verse 7, give unto the good and help not a sinner. Help not the sinner. There you go. Meaning the brethren, the brotherhood, the men who believe this truth, and if there's a woman, who believes in this truth, you can help her out, Verse 8, a friend cannot be known in prosperity, and an enemy cannot be hidden in adversity, and that's the truth. When everything's going good, man, you're making money, you're successful, you can't find, you're not going to know a true friend, because everybody's going to be kissing your ass, right? But when you're going through adversity, you guess what? Your enemies are going to show themselves easy, Verse 9, in the prosperity of a man, enemies will be grieved, but in his adversity, even a friend will depart. Right? When you do good, your enemies are going to be grieved. That's going to grieve them. Right? They're not going to like seeing you doing good. Your enemies, they don't want to see you do good. People who see us in this truth, and if they're not down with it, they don't like to see us. They don't like. And that word grieve, it goes into mourning, or be sorrowful, or upsets them, right? So, when the brothers are together and we're enjoying the brethren, we're, whether it's we're out there doing the work, whether we're enjoying a meal together, this has upset people. They don't like to see the men in this truth, the men of Yahweh Hashem Yoshai, in good state. You see? This is, but in adversity, even a friend will depart. Yeah, if that's the one who's your so-called friends, just come across a bunch of unfortunate events, or hit bad times or evil times, and when you're going to see all these people who you thought were friends, and they ain't going to be around. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. And we know this. This is one of the verses we bring out a lot, because it's an important verse. You never want to trust your enemy, man, no matter what the circumstances, no matter what's going on. Look what Esau did. Look what Esau did to a lot of the Israelites, man. He fucked them up when they trusted him. They trusted his MOT, or I'm sorry, well, eventually it's going to be the MOTB, but a lot of our people trusted in the enemy with that jump shot, and a lot of people died. A lot of people had strokes, blood clots, amputations because their legs had blood clots, or their arms had blood clots, or whatever the case was. That's why they trusted the enemy. You can't let your guard down when this devil, even when this devil speaks soft words, actually when he's acting like he's trying to help you out, you cannot trust this devil. All right? Let me go into, We learn from history and we learn from the scriptures, and we know these things from the history of the so-called white man, his rap sheet, his track record, right? And also, from what we've seen with our own eyes. All right, let's get Maccabees 1. I think it's around the 31st verse. Yeah, this is talking about the Greeks. I think it's Antiochus. But this is the same thing. You don't trust the man just because he's speaking kindly to you, the so-called white man, the Edomite. You don't trust him just because he speaks kindly. He speaks soft words to you in your ears, because he's always got deception in his heart, all right? Which that means in your mind, deception in his mind. First Maccabees 1:30, it says, "And spake peaceable words unto them, but all was deceit. For when they had given him credence," which means they gave him credit, they gave him the benefit of the doubt, "he fell suddenly upon the city and smote it very sore and destroyed much people of Israel." You see? So it's okay. You don't want to listen to the prophets? Go ahead. Listen to your daddy, the devil. Listen to his solutions. Listen to his answers to, if he's going to bring, like when he brings that micro C hip, a lot of Israelites are gonna turn their ear from the prophets, but they're gonna say, "Oh, you know what? I need to take that micro C hip so I can go shopping at Walmart and get me some groceries, or so I can still go to the Costco, or whatever it is, right?" But then, and they're gonna have to, when they mandate that micro C hip, what's gonna happen? They're gonna have that C hip in their hand or in their forehead, and it's gonna fuck up. Matter of fact, you look at the Elon Musk situation with Neuralink. That's already fucking up on the first guy, that the guinea pig that they used for that. I saw an article saying how the let's see. I'm gonna read it to you. Oh yeah, and this was just a couple days ago, man. But the title says, and I got it on my computer screen, it says, "Neuralink's first implant partly detached from patient's brain." So it had a malfunction, all right? So it's going to be the same thing when they start chipping everybody. Those things, it's going to be a malfunction. Matter of fact, let's get that verse that talks about that. Let's see, because you're going to have a lot of these people, Israelites, who trust the devil, trust the enemy, and they're going to take that C hip, and guess what? They're going to it's going to backfire on them, right? But because we are prudent men, we consider the future and we believe the knowledge and the truth. So guess what? We're protected, right? Revelation 16:2, it says, I'll start at 1. Revelation 16:1, "And I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the seven angels, Go your ways and pour out the vials of the wrath of the Most High upon the earth. And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them that worshipped his image." See that? So they're going to have a grievous sore in their hand when they, once those angels, or those death angels, are sent out. Yahweh's going to send a death angel, which is going to, just like he did. Yahweh sent death angels with the jump shot, the jab. There are a lot of people died from that thing. That's why I'll say the ones who took the Fauci ouchie, right? They were out there saying, Fauci was saying, hey, don't be doing no autopsies. They were encouraging the hospitals and the doctors not to, move forward with autopsies. And why was that? Because they knew what the cause of death was, these people, and they was blaming it on the Novid. Right? It's going to be the same thing with the mark of the beast. These people take the mark of the beast. Guess what? The Lord's going to send out those death angels. And let me read it again. And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them who worshipped his image. So we already know that mark of the beast is charagma in the Greek, which means an etching or a cutting in the flesh, which is going to be that device that they put in you, and you won't be able to buy or sell without it. All right. Let me get this one in Proverbs. The men who are in this truth, we know better. We're going to stay away from that thing at all costs, even if it costs our life. Proverbs 22:3, it says, a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. See that? So the prudent means you consider the future. That's what prudent means. We know the future. Why? Because we're the prophets. We know what the agenda of the so-called white man, the Edomite. We know that his agenda is to put that device in everybody's hand or in their forehead. And guess what? We're gonna hide ourselves in that day. We damn sure ain't gonna be lining up at no chipping station. You see. But we're going to foresee the evil, which evil means bad times. And guess what? We're going to hide ourselves. But guess what the simple are going to do? They're going to walk right into that trap. Right? Makes me think of another verse. In 2 Corinthians. We consider the future because we're prudent. We're considering the future because we're the men of Yahweh Bashem Yashai. 2 Corinthians 2:11, it tells you, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. So we're not ignorant of his devices. So guess what? We're going to keep ourselves safe in that day. We're going to keep ourselves safe because we're not going to take that micro C-hip. So, that's the whole point. We're going to be protected because we believe in this truth and because we don't trust the enemy, man. No matter how sweet he talks to us in our ears, no matter how soft his words are. Let me get this real quick. Psalm. And you 2/3, you're going to fall right into the trap because you don't believe the prophets. You believe your daddy, the devil. Psalm 55:21, it says, it's in the middle of your screen. It says, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet they were drawn swords. That's the Edomite. He's gonna like Joe Biden and all them. Remember that when they first came out with the jump shot, what were they saying? Oh, well, we're gonna offer this. Over in times past, we overlooked the blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. And that's exactly what they said. They said the blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. And they said, in times past, we overlooked it, but we're going to give them an opportunity to receive this jump shot before everybody. Right there's a red flag, And if you ain't in this knowledge, if you're not, you're not waxing strong in the spirit, you're not listening to the Lord's prophets, you were one of those people that just walked right into the trap. And a lot of people, and I've seen it. I've been seeing it with my own eyes how many people whether it was family members, friends, or just random people, you start talking to them, they say, oh, well, I had a stroke, or, I lost my grandmother, I lost my father to, he had a heart attack, he died, or I met a dude at the gym, man, and I didn't even notice his leg was fucked up. But I just remember I wasn't even trying to be like negative or whatnot, but I remember we just started talking out of nowhere, and I was like, oh man, I don't want to be at the gym today. It's not as fun as it used to be, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, oh, well, I don't take anything for granted nowadays, so I love this place, da, 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 da. And then I didn't even notice when I looked down and he only had 1.5 legs. And then I saw why he was like being in that attitude. He's like, oh, I don't take nothing. I enjoy it. When the motherfucker lost his leg, I said, oh man. And I didn't even ask him. I told him, I go, he's all, well, he said, he goes, I had to get my leg amputated. So I don't, I got a different mindset now and da da da. And I said, oh, man, I know what happened. I said, you took the jump shot, didn't you? And he said, yup, I did. He's like, how'd you know? Things are pretty obvious when you're in this truth and you have this knowledge. You know when people are fucked up like that, you know what the cause was, So I was just like, I told him, I said, man, don't take any more jump shots. Don't take any more vaccinations, But a guy like that, he's going to turn around and probably take the micro CEP too, just trusting his enemy again, So anyway, let's go back to Ecclesiasticus 12. It says in verse, but you don't want to be trusting your enemy, man, never. Let's go to verse 11. It says, I'll start at 10 again. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away. Right, you don't ever want to trust these white devils, these Edomites. Verse 12. Set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at last remember my words and be pricked therewith. Right. And the wicked, they have all kinds of wicked imaginations, wicked thoughts, You don't want him around your woman. You don't want to spend time with him unless you have to, unless you have to go to work or whatever. But really, you're better off not even being around the Edomite. And people who have the same spirit as the Edomite, hey man, cut them out your life. Because them same people, they'll do you dirty in a heartbeat. All right? Verse 13. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beasts? Right, so if you're one of those 2/3 that don't want to listen to the Lord's prophets, and you go and we're sitting here telling you not to do these things, not to go in the ways of the heathen, and you still do it, are we going to be feeling sorry for you? No, because we warned you. Just like no one's going to be feeling sorry for a charmer when a snake bites him. The snake's doing what is in his nature, right? The serpent, that's his nature, to be subtle, crafty, and then bite your ass. See? Or if you're playing or any that it says, or any as such as come nigh wild beasts, meaning nigh means near. So someone who comes near wild beasts, when a wild beast kills them, are you gonna feel bad for that person? No, that was that beast's nature. Some of these animals, it made me think of that dude, the crocodile hunter, right? What happened? That motherfucker, and Cat Williams joked about it. He said this motherfucker was hunting crocodiles, and then motherfucking stingray killed him. But did anybody feel bad who was in their right mind? No, because why? Because he was constantly putting himself in fucked up positions with these wild animals and ended up costing him his life. You don't feel bad for somebody like that, Somebody who's a bull rider. If a bull fucking gores you with his fucking horns, you don't. Hey, you seen that coming? See, you get the point. Verse 14, so one that goeth to a sinner and is defiled with him in his sins, who will pity? Right. That saying, birds of a feather flock together. If you always hanging out with the most wicked, evil people, and then all of a sudden you find yourself doing wickedness and bad shit, who's going to feel bad for you when the Lord brings judgment on you? Not the prophets, Being in this truth, it teaches you to just, you just humble yourself in cases. You really, If you know something's not good for you, then you just stay away from it. That's the best thing to do. Or people, verse 15, for a while he will abide with thee, but if thou begin to fall, he will not tarry. Right? Motherfuckers are not in it for the long ride. Some of even the brethren, because we know that some of the brethren are going to fall out. We've seen it. We've had brethren fall out of the truth. How much more an enemy? How much more the wicked? How much more the heathen? How much more the 2/3? All right. Verse 16, an enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. You see that? But y'all want to still, get down with the Edomite. Y'all still want to trust the Edomite in his medicine and his philosophies and all his bullshit. 17. If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first, and though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee. See that? And they're good. People are good at faking shit, right? Oh yeah, I'm gonna be this dude's. I'm gonna act like his friend, but when shit goes bad, boom, blow up in your face. He don't give a damn about you. Most people don't give a damn about other people, man. That's why the best thing to do is really just. And even women, women, you got to be careful with women. A lot of these women, they're motivated by their own, their own shit. They don't care about you. And really, women care about themselves. Women usually don't care about a man. Just if you don't believe me, just observe people in their relationships, in their marriages. The women, they don't really care about the man. They care about themselves. Like if you got a wife and everything's going good, you have a nice house, nice career going. Watch you lose that career. Watch you lose that house. Let's see how your wife sticks with you. Lots of these women, women are they like comfort. They like security. You lose the comfort and the security, hey, you're gonna bet 9 times out of 10 you're gonna lose that woman. All right. So really, like it says, the word soldier, it means soldier. The prefix to that word goes into solo. That's why we all got to work. The men in this truth, we all got to work our salvation on our own. That's why we're soldiers of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, because why? We're working out our salvation by ourselves. A brother can't, no matter how much you care or love the brotherhood, you can't get salvation for another brother. The only one you can get salvation for is yourself. You see? Every man has to work out his own salvation with fear and trembling, as is written. You can't, like Apostle Tahar can't save Apostle Gabar, and vice versa, right? The elders can't save none of us. We all gotta, they're there as leaders and guides and teachers, but they can't save any of us. You got to do that on your own. That's why, again, we are those soldiers of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And like I said, soldier goes into solo, meaning by yourself. Okay. Let me get that undermine definition. That word undermine. If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first, and though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee. And it means to basically gradually weaken you, or threaten you, or sabotage you, diminish, chip away. Those are all similar words. Erode, wear away, eat away at. You see? This is how that enemy is to you, man. You got to be careful of who you fuck with. Tupac said it best. And I'm not going to glorify Tupac, but he says you got to, what was that saying he said in that song? He goes, you got to, the enemies, I can't even, I'm not even going to try and quote it, but basically he was saying that the enemy is going to tell you the truth to your face sometimes. They'll be your enemy, but they're trying to kill you, or the I can't even remember how he said it. So I shouldn't even have brought it up. But anyway, last verse here. He will shake his head and clap his hands and whisper much and change his countenance. There you go. Speaking about the enemy, and 2/3 of our people are our enemies, man. You can't trust 2/3 of our people. He will shake his head, clap his hands, and whisper much and change his countenance, meaning change the way he looks, the way his face looks. He'll become your enemy. The 2/3 are our enemies. Don't trust them. Don't trust your enemies. You know, the heathen nations, they're our enemies. Don't trust them. I don't care how nice they speak to you. I don't care how what kind of words they use to talk to you. You got to remember, these are your enemies for a reason. And it goes back to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Hey, created your enemies to be your enemies. All right? The enemies are going to be your enemies for eternal. Right? It goes back to Genesis, right? Let's get it real quick. Genesis 25 and 25. Let me see. Talks about Jacob and Esau, right? 2 nations in the womb. Well, you know what? I'm not even going to get it but the point is Esau and Jacob are basically enemies, unto this day forever, because the Lord created enemies. He created different nations that are our enemies. Okay? I'll read verse 22 because it's talking about Rebecca being pregnant and the 2 babies, and what were they doing? Struggling. Why? Because the babies were natural enemies. Like a cat and a dog, they're natural enemies. You put a cat and a dog together, they might get along for a little while, but eventually they're gonna be adversaries. They're gonna strive against each other. That's the same thing with Jacob and Esau. You get them together. Eventually, you're gonna know who your enemy is. Unless you're a 2/3, you'll never realize it because you're just oblivious to the truth. Right? Genesis 25 and 22. And the children struggled together within her, and she said, "If it be so, why am I thus?" And she went to inquire of Yahweh, and Yahweh said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. All right, and you know the rest. The babies came out, but the point is the babies are were struggling in the womb because they were natural enemies. Esau, Edom is our enemy. All right, Genesis 3, is it? You can't trust the serpent, right? Watch right here, Genesis 3 and 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which Yahweh the Most High had made. And he said unto the woman, Yeah, the Most High said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden. And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, the Most High has said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die. So what was the serpent? The serpent is a metaphor for that so-called white man. He's that snake, the serpent in the garden. The beasts in the garden were men. tells you that in Ecclesiastes 3:18. If you look that up, it tells you the beasts are men. So the serpent is a beast, and he's that beast that he's always opposing Yahweh. He's telling the woman, "You ain't gonna die. You ain't going to eat. Go in and eat the tree of the tree in the midst of the garden." The trees is a metaphor for men. I don't want to get into a whole new lesson, but that's that enemy. The Esau Edom is the serpent. He's our natural born enemy. Okay. So anyway, I'm gonna close out with that, and I hope the lesson was edifying. But you never want to trust your enemy, especially in the times we're coming into. You never want to trust the enemy. You don't want to put your guard down. You always want to be walking in the spirit, moving in the spirit. This way, when things happen, you're in your right mindset. You see. So I want to give all the praise, all the glory, all the honor unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me the truth. Also, I want to acknowledge the Akim who are pushing the truth with sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. Shalom to the elect.